And Gentex Multimedia welcomes you to this live update on the 22nd day of February 2021. Hi, we've got an excellent show lined up for you today. There's so much to talk about, so much that happened in the weekend, but we will be bringing to you those coverages one by one. So today's highlight would be the glimpses from GOPIO Queensland's India Day Fair fundraiser, which was held on Friday at Michael's Oriental. So we'll bring to you all the glimpses of that, and of course we'll give you all the updates of what's happening with the vaccine and what's happening in and around the community in our community awareness segment as well. But before we do that, let's take a very quick look at what's happening with the weather with Dilraj.
Good morning everyone. Weather forecast for the rest of today is maximum 34 degree. Brisbane area is hot and sunny. Light winds becoming northeasterly 15 to 20 km per hour in the late afternoon and then becoming light in the evening. Fire danger is very high. Sun protection is recommended till 10 to 4 in the evening, and UV index is predicted to reach 11, that is extreme. Till tomorrow, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.
And thank you very much for that update, Dilraj. Well, right now, moving on, we'll go to the news in brief. First Australians receive COVID-19 vaccine. And of course, as we know, that much talked about the vaccine has now been put out. So the first Australian have received the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines. And our Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, also received the vaccine. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has received COVID-19 vaccine on the first day of Pfizer's jab rollout. And Greg Hunt says first vaccines to be administered. The Health Minister has announced that the first vaccine, as we have just heard before, will be administered from today to aged care residents and workers. And vaccinations begin in Sydney's Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. Staff at Sydney's Royal Prince Alfred Hospital began administering COVID-19 vaccinations to frontline workers as of today. And New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian to wait for AstraZeneca vaccine. Mr. Berejiklian says 1,200 people will get the Pfizer vaccine in New South Wales today. However, she will not be among those recipients. Instead, she will be receiving the AstraZeneca jab to demonstrate that both vaccines are just as good as each other. And Prime Minister is confident in vaccine but says he understands people's concern. The Prime Minister has attempted to reassure Australians on the safety of the COVID-19 vaccines after receiving a jab in Sydney's northwest this morning. And what about Victoria? So first vaccination in Victoria has been administered. Monash Health Medical Director for Infection Prevention, Rhonda Stewart, was the first recipient in Melbourne shortly after 7:30 a.m. And Tasmania's battle against the invasive Northern Pacific sea star has seen decades long. Is there a chance of victory? That's been an ongoing thing. And Novak Djokovic claims 9th Australian Open crown. Novak Djokovic's All-Stars NRL. Novak Djokovic added another Australian Open championship to his collection. An Indigenous All-Star performed War Cry ahead of clash against Maori All-Stars. The Indigenous All-Stars NRL squad performs a war cry ahead of their clash against the Maori All-Stars. So that's quite a good gesture there. Australian Open crowd boos at the mention of coronavirus vaccines. So, Tennis Australia President Jane Hrilkag pausing her speech after the crowds started booing at the mention of COVID-19 vaccines. So people are, sick and tired of that. Well, we'll talk about Australia's housing market on Wednesday with Usha Chandra right here on this channel. But until that time, the news is that Australia's housing is more unaffordable than ever and set to go higher. As we have seen that even right now in the market, nothing is left available. As soon as they come, they are gone. So that demand is probably pushing the price up. While housing construction, renovations, and prices soaring, the industry is booming. However, it's meant that those looking for their first home are finding it harder than ever. Thus, the affordability is set to get even worse. So that's the real estate news. We'll look at that in depth on Wednesday with Usha Chandra. Well, right now, turning textile into tiles. This is some good news. Maybe all our greenies get very happy with this kind of news. Scientist and engineer Veena Sahajwala is revitalizing the way Australians tackle waste. And that is a very good report to go and follow. At least 2 dead amid, now for the world news, so at least 2 dead amid Myanmar demonstrations. 2 people have died in Myanmar after the security forces opened fire on a demonstration protest by the, against the military coup in the nation. And of course, amongst those, mourners and protesters back on the street across Myanmar after a fatal day of demonstrations. Crowds in Myanmar capital have attended a funeral for the first of the 3 demonstrators killed in the protest against the military's takeover. And this tragedy has been aborted when a US plane landed safely with 1 engine after mid-air fire. A United Airlines plane has landed safely despite engine trouble and 1 engine quite visually on fire. With 1 engine on fire mid-air, debris was dropped in several neighborhoods of Colorado. And Prince Charles visits Prince Philip in hospital. Prince Charles has visited his father, Prince Philip, at a hospital where the Duke of Edinburgh is being treated. So as we know that he has not been very well, and what a wonderful gesture, Prince Charles going to visit him there. Well, right now, let's take a look and a message from our sponsors.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Usha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is their world. And right now we are going to look at the fundraiser which was organized by GOPIO Queensland, which was held at Michael's Oriental on Friday. So we'll take a quick look at some of the glimpses from the night. So as guests started arriving, you can see that the hall was quite full and it had full to capacity under the current restrictions and what is allowable at this point in time. And of course, it was also very good to see that a lot of people did come up right on time or well before time. So one of the things that was said on the night was that we normally hear, Indian programs not starting in time. Well, of course, we didn't start on time as well because we started before time. So that was wonderful to see.
So ladies and gentlemen, my name is Umesh Chandra and I will be one of the MCs for tonight. And we are not going to break the Indian tradition of not starting on time. But what we are going to do is, yes, we are not going to start on time. We are actually breaking the myth. We're going to start before time. Could we have a round of applause for that? And that is only possible because of all of you. Everyone's here on time or before time, so we can start the proceedings on time. So my co-host.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pravanita Singh Pillai, and I'll be your co-host with the Mitch Chandra for tonight. So if you need anything, you've got GOPIO committee walking around with their badges. If you need anything, grab them. We're here to entertain you, and we appreciate you being here tonight on our course, which is for the fundraiser for the India Day Fair, which is going to be in Roma Street Parklands in August. And we'll stay hopeful. COVID can stay where it is, and we've done so far so good in Brisbane, so we'll continue with that. So welcome everybody, and let's get this evening started.
Let's get the soul on the road. And as they say, getting the soul on the road, we have, before we begin any formal proceedings, we need to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land. And ladies and gentlemen, may I first acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we gather tonight, and pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. And also, on that note, also like to acknowledge all the elders within all different communities. And that is what it is about, all different communities all coming together. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, we'd like to move on with the proceedings. So now we have a whole list, a whole range of people who need to be acknowledged. And one point about that is that there's a whole list. You look around the room, everyone's a VIP here tonight. So round of applause to each and every one of you, please. That's very good, because that's setting the mood. The mood of tonight and the way tonight proceeds is in your hands. And that is exactly where it is, in your hands. The more you clap, the better the night will be. So you need to use those hands. So right now, we have a whole lot of VIP acknowledgements. What we'll do is, when we go through the list, we relieve future speakers of going through the whole list. So that way, each and every the VIP that needs to be acknowledged has been acknowledged, and that way the future speakers will be relieved from them. So first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the presence here of Dr. Mahasina Kabir. He's the president of, the patron of GOPIO Queensland, chairperson of the Springfield Land Corporation, here with Vedanta. Ladies and gentlemen, could we have a round of applause and acknowledge his esteemed presence here tonight. Check 1, 2. Can you please check the sound? I know it might be a bit annoying to the people up in the front, but people at the back.
So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there were quite a few people who needed to be acknowledged, and in doing so, and in moving forward, there was wonderful to see that everyone were there and and beginning on time. So it is always good to see that happening within our crowd and within our community when people take time out to come to these events, but then they always come on time as well. So that was wonderful to see.
Programming group, where he is one of the radio presenters. He brings his expertise as also a businessman to the GOPIO Queensland team. Put your hands together for Rakesh Sharma to say a few words.
Thanks, Nice introduction. custodians of the land on which we meet today, and we pay my respect to their elders past and present. I extend their respect to Aboriginals and Torrens Islanders people here today. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming this evening. I welcome each one of you. I want to say a special welcome to our veteran, Mahasenatami. He has been a big support to us. It is also great to see our founder members, Shamdas, Yusuf Ali Khan, Umesh Chandra. Good to see here our co-partner GOPIO, Gold Coast President, Gurdeep Gracia and his team. As our MCs, Umeshji and Prep have mentioned the names of all our VIPs and distinguished guests, I would once again like to welcome them tonight. I would also like to welcome every one of you who has come tonight to support GOPIO. The Global Organization of People of Indian Origin is a non-partisan, secular, global organization engaged in promoting the well-being of people of Indian origin and enhancing the cooperation and communication between the India diaspora around the world. GOPIO was founded at the first Global Convention of People of Indian Origin held in New York in 1989. GOPIO Queensland was formed in June 2008. GOPIO is a non-profit organization and we do not have any primary source of income. GOPIO
So that is Rakesh Sharma, the current president, explaining about GOPIO, GOPIO's, how did GOPIO come about, GOPIO's history, and of course GOPIO Queensland's one as well. So, moving on with that, there's so much that was happening on the night, and as I said today, we will only bring to you some glimpses of the events.
Iron Goldman, Secretary.
Introducing his team.
Chadha, Joint Secretary. Arpat Singh, Treasurer. Tanvi Gol, PRO and Assistant Treasurer. Umesh Chandra, Chairperson and Business Council. Parvita Singh Pillai, Chairperson Women Council. Marush Lande, Chairperson of Youth Council. Last but not the least, actually the most important person in my team, Usha Chandra, in charge of sports and events. Each team member of the GOPIO is hardworking and incredible sporting. Thank you guys for your hardship and hard work. Without your hard work, it was not possible to put this function. We all look forward to organizing and holding the India Day function at Roma Street, Parkland 2021. Thank you very much. Thanks and enjoy the rest of the evening.
So it's wonderful to see that, the whole team's there and working very hard, as we know that this was a fundraiser for the main event, which is the India Day Fair. And this year, fingers crossed, and if nothing else happens, and if God willing, it will be held on the 15th of August at Roma Street, Parklands. Well, right now, let's take a look at some of the other guests who were there on the night. First up is Councillor Angela Owen, who is representing the Lord Mayor of his
corporate sector. Councillor Owen has been recognised by FICQ as Honorary Indian of the Year. So yes, she's certainly more Indian than us, right? She has attended many Indian functions and is well versed with the customs and traditions of the length and breadth of India. She assisted the community in various times of need, including Mr. Manmeet Alicia's case, which was a tragedy. It gives us great pleasure to welcome her here tonight to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Could I commence by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Namaste, Namaskaram, Sat Sri Akal, Kem Cho, Spargadam, Vanakkam, Assalamu Alaikum. And I know that there's other people here from other different parts of the world, so can I say Salamat, Konnichiwa, Annyeong Haseyo. Have I missed anyone out? I think I've covered most languages there. Oh, actually, for our Singaporean table, Ni Hao. It gives me great pleasure to join you here tonight to celebrate this important function for GOPIO. I have been supporting GOPIO for many years now, and I am well aware of the good work that they do. And can I say a very special thank you to Umesh and Usha for the leadership that you have shown, and to my constituent, Rakesh Sharma, who has come in as the president for this year. There are so many people around this room who have been acknowledged tonight for your leadership roles in the community. And on behalf of Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner, I take this opportunity to say thank you for the leadership role you have undertaken, for the volunteer community work that you do, and for the positive community contribution that you individually make to our city of Brisbane and to foster harmony in our city. Tonight's event is about supporting GOPIO in a fundraising way for the India Day Fair. Now, for those of you who haven't attended India Day Fair, it is a wonderful celebration for all that is Indian in our community, in our city, and it takes place in the very heart of the Brisbane CBD. Now, I haven't missed an India Day Fair, so the challenge is out there for all of you from this point onwards to keep up that tradition and support it year in, year out, because it is important to show that we recognise people of Indian origin and we celebrate that contribution to our city and the harmony that we have here. To everyone who has sponsored this function tonight, a very big thank you, because oftentimes it is the sponsors that make events like tonight the very reason why events can go ahead. And that is why we do acknowledge, on behalf of everyone here tonight, the importance that sponsors do play.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Councillor Angela Awan. Like I said, today we're just showing you glimpses, and if everyone would like, we will do a full show on the event, putting together a very nice edited version of the whole lot. But today we'd like to bring to you the coverage, events, and glimpses of things as they happen. And next up, we have Lady Maris coming up as well.
Good evening.
Oh, sorry, before that is Jim Varghese.
That's right.
And we were honoured to have him as our auctioneer for the fundraising. He did very well, and we raised the much-needed funds for India Day Fair.
A Claude Monet-inspired painting by Michelle Mariner. Michelle, where are you? Stand up. So people can have a look at you. Now, Michelle, very quickly, tell me, what is so exciting about your painting?
Well, I don't know, this is going to be quick. First of all, this painting is not painted with brushes, it's painted with palette knives, and it's on a very large canvas. It's original, it's painted with acrylic paints, it's signed on the bottom corner here, it's also signed on the back. Comes with an authenticity certificate as well. I didn't have many art competitions last year because of COVID, but in 2019 I won the Carindale Westfield competition for Westfield shopping centres. Belmont Hospital approached me and brought out my entire collection, so there's 4 paintings hanging in the Belmont Hospital. Through COVID we just had an online auction for a place called Art from the Margins, and unbeknownst to me, the painting that I sold was bought by the Starlight Foundation for the Royal...
So there you are, and with that note, Jim did say a brief note, but of course he's so passionate about her painting and that she did go on and try and explain. Here's how it transpired on the floor.
Do we have another bid? Come on, don't be shy. Michelle's in here. She's the artist herself. What a beautiful painting. Look at the lotus on it. It's all done beautifully. A prize-winning artist as well. Now, next bid. What's the bid there? Can we see? 1,000 there. Do you have a bid for 1,000 there? Going once?
So, Jim did a wonderful job, and of course we did raise the much needed funds that were for India Day Fair, and of course, GOPIO Queensland likes to place on record their thanks and appreciation to Jim Varghese for doing the honours there as well. Right now, as I said before, that Our Lady Mayoress is the patron of GOPIO's Women's Council. So, and he is dressed up in Indian costume and coming in. And I won't be showing that today, but because I'm conscious of the time, in the next, when we show you the full version, we will show you Lord Mayor as well when he joined in, came in as well. So, a lot of councillors were there present as well.
I would like to commence by officially acknowledging the traditional owners on the land on which we stand, elders past, present and emerging. And I see a lot of council colleagues, and if you guys could stand up, because we have Councillor Vicky Howard, AO, sorry, everyone knows who AO is, Councillor Jared Cassidy, and also Councillor Charles Shrunk. The fact that we have 4 representatives from across Brisbane shows just how important you all are to Brisbane City Council. And we just wanted to thank you so much for having us all here to be with you. I'd also like to acknowledge the chairperson, Pravanita, where I'm beautiful there, Umesh.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And I know that Usha, and I know we have Rakesh Sharma, President. But I've got to tell you, tonight we have been at another event for Chinese New Year, and I had about 5 minutes to get dressed, so I got dressed in the car park, and I'm afraid a whole group of people walked past and they saw a little bit more than they bargained for. But I have to tell you, it was totally worthwhile, because if you had the chance, why wouldn't you dress in perhaps one of the most beautiful cultural outfits that you could possibly dress in ever? And I remember when I was new to this title or this role, the very first event I was taken to was by Pinky Singh, and I got to see about 600 women from different ethnicities in regards to the diaspora for India, and it was literally the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. And I thought, and I'm not meant to say this, surely it was the most beautiful cultural outfits for women in the world, and it really empowered them to dress in a way that was so stunning. I cannot thank you enough for the absolute honour of being your spokesperson and your patron. It is singularly the biggest honour so far that I have been granted in this role, and I look forward to absolutely supporting not just the women but the great work that the council does in Queensland. And there is so much great work, and I know that there's a particular leaning towards domestic violence, and I want to acknowledge that the 19th today is when Hannah and her children, that is 1 year today. And so there is so much more to be done, and I look forward to working with the council and everything that we can possibly do to limit or mitigate the scourge of domestic violence. But today is a fun day, and unfortunately with COVID it claimed another victim last year, but I wanted to salute the council, the whole GOPIO, for the fact that you still did internally, you did it for 140,000 still attended, and I think you must have been one of the well-attended events in Brisbane and perhaps in Australia for the fact that 140,000 people still came and took part in the GOPIO Fund Day. But this year, it's more important than ever to dig deep and to make sure that we fund in whatever way we possibly can so the event goes ahead in August, and it has my absolute full support. I know that we will be there. So thank you. I know that you didn't come to listen to me, but I wanted to wish you all the very best for this year. I look forward to seeing you all in August. And I see that Councillor Kim Marks has just arrived. And of course, Dr. Bowie and Mrs. Dr. Bowie as well. I wanted to acknowledge you as well. So thank you very much for having me. I look forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you.
And those great words there from our Lady Mayoress, and of course, as she said, that she was talking about our online event this year, which had over 130,000 plus views, and that is wonderful to see that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for today. As I said, we can put together a full show, but today we just wanted to show you the glimpses, and of course, throughout the week, we will show you glimpses of many of the functions, including the 100th anniversary celebration of Srila Bhakti Vedanta, and of course, the Lunar New Year celebration at the Parliament House, all those things. So every day will be a different coverage, and don't forget that on the 28th from 6 p.m. we have the Music Junction coming week for this month. And this month, being February, it will be a Valentine's Day special, something to look forward to. And our guest artist this month will be, main artist will be Yusuf Ali Khan. He will be joined in by other artists as well, but he will be the main featuring artist for that. So that's something to look forward to. It's been wonderful having your company, but before I let you go, we will have to take a quick look at the functions and events that are taking place right here in Brisbane at this point in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's been wonderful having your company. Remember, this is Gentex Multimedia, live streaming directly to your device all the way from Brisbane, Australia. Until tomorrow, it's goodbye from me. Please do remain safe and have a wonderful day.